far off the socials.
Yeah, you seem to be pretty on par with the community. G2 on the flip side, best of threes, expecting them to do stronger in that regard. So 0-2 wouldn't be as devastating, but again, we're probably not really expecting that. That being said, Munich, expect the unexpected. There's been, I mean,
exactly.
Furia, for instance, 0-2. I know they do lower bracket runs all the time, but that alone, massive. I mean, SSG, 0-2, just losing to Wildcard. Expected that to be clear cut as well. So.
But like you said, for APAC teams, I think there's been a bit of history for them to do really well in the best of ones. And, you know,
Day one is sometimes their ability to thrive.
Even going out as far as like 2-0, but then losing 3 best of 3 straight, right? Like we've seen that time and time again. So these are the rounds and the games that CAG really need to be winning, but ultimately their opponent is quite strong. G2 will come into this as the favorites. They start on the attack side of Consulate. Ying Clash, the first bands.
Yeah, CAG on defense. The dynamic's going to be intriguing. What kind of brand they want to bring into the map? Are they going to play heavy for util sync, etc.? Will they roam, peel, play for denial? Some of that will be determined by this ban phase. So we'll see what the second rounds end up being. Of course, the Ying Clash out. Joined alongside the Grim Mute. So a lot of that execute heavy utility dealt with.
Oh, straight into a pause as per Doki, apparently Blaz's mic has exploded. Now, I don't know what a mic explosion looks like or what that means. I would imagine it's clearly having issues, so we'll get that sorted before we get into this. CAG, as you said, starting on the defense. Consulate, not, again, a map that we probably see them play all too often, so kind of looking at it historically for them. The last time they played it, guys, 64 days ago. Now, for G2, to be fair, was quite a distance too. 53 days ago, they played Virtus Pro. It was a 7-5 victory. So that was back in September, mid-September, back on the 5th of September for CAG against Mer Gaming. And they only won that 8-6. Like, so that's not really
not convincing.
Not against Mer
Gaming.
Gaming.
That means they wouldn't have touched it during the major call.
Exactly. So no real recency there, I guess, for either team. But still, it's, you know, the case of best of ones is I feel like a lot of the times you're either going to go to a map that both teams are very, very comfortable on. I guess a good example is Enterprise Weibo earlier today, Clubhouse. Or you're going to go to a map that either teams are not as comfortable on, but for both of them, right? And I guess maybe you could make the argument here, but I think for G2, it's still a pretty good preference map. Like, they just don't ban it. For example, over, well, I guess the last couple of months, G2 have banned it 7 times. It's been banned against them 19 times. So while it hasn't really been played a lot, clearly based on their ban order, it's not one that's going to be high up for them. On the flip side for CAG, banned 15 times, banned against them 12 times. Leads you to, well, obviously believe for CAG they don't necessarily like to bring out the Consulate all that often. I don't think Doki's nervous. I think he just likes to bite his nails. and as a nail biter myself, that's...
Yeah, it's working. Ready?
I heard the ready, and I also heard the it's working. Well, G2 look very calm here, to be honest. It's not really like a super high-pressure game. If they were 0-1 and they were taking on, like, a top team from SAL or, you know, a Secret or a Falcons or something, yeah, it might be a bit of pressure. But you can't go into this underestimating CAG.
No.
I mean, we saw that from the FaZe game, and I guess that's the good news for G2 is they would have looked at that. They would have been able to go over that match and say, hey, CAG actually pulled their weight. They gave the Brazilians a good run for their money. And in the end for that game, it was FaZe that won it more so than CAG losing it. As we head into Consulate.
Which is... And the reason I think you're mentioning that, right, is because typically it'll be a case of CAG lose it themselves. They throw it. That was not the case against FaZe. They got outplayed off the back of the tactical timeout. So let's jump into things then. Over to
10 seconds to go.
Console for the opening round. As is typical.
5 seconds to go.
And the wall of utility here from CAG, and with the execute off the board and forcing that util clearance, that was expected. Double catch, as well as our Cully on the Azami. You combine that together and it makes it challenging for the map across take here from G2.
Now Consulate, by the way, girls, fun fact, EML, most defender side of map.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to look at the APL Major Qualifier LAN. I mean, so therefore it's skewed statistics, a little bit more of a subset, but 56% defensive win rate. Puts it behind Bank and Skyscraper in APL. Which I think makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, when I kind of view Consulate, we obviously cover APAC. It's a little bit more free-flowing at times. So far, just mainly the repel game for G2, but it is Blaz into admin. Mike now working. Gets to work on the drones. G2 trying to get as much information as possible in terms of the setup here for CAG. CO meeting for the opening site. You do bring that Amaru on this particular objective. You're always thinking about that repel in. Bait out utility. So far, G2 haven't really probed around it. I mean, Alabama, of course, does have the kit and is in that position.
Yeah, they've been able to pepper in a couple of nice drones so far, G2, and gaining information. And Alamau just sends it in. Anaton, though, close by, but I think he may have been flashed out. Pops up, gets the kill, kit down. DD to double down, and Anaton as well to find his second. Yeah,
interesting as well that he fully committed. At times we see the Amaru go for the grappling hook and then the immediate vault out in anticipation of a nitrocell or gas babes by the smoke. CAG, though, were ready for the full execute. G2 full committed. Nice.
It was pretty nice.
That was pretty nice. To be fair for CAG, I mean, that is a pretty common strategy that they would have easily played against many, many times over on that side. It's rather default by G2 to just go for the full send-in, and it has cost them. And in some ways, you know, opening round, G2 on CO meeting, maybe just thinking, let's test them out here and see what they're going to be able to do to respond to the, you know, the grapple in. But it's a pretty common position that Anaton's playing there on the desk, and Alamau just paid no respect to it. And there wasn't really a whole lot of setup either by G2. Really well worked there by CAG, though, to respond to the quick entry.
Split round 2, okay.
And split round 2.
Do you still have the map stats up to check?
For which region?
Grade on this site? Oh, either or. Both would be intriguing.
I mean, I'll go to EML.
I think it's one of the least
played, but
least picked in the game at the moment.
3 times played in EML for stage 2.
Right.
For a 100% defensive win rate from those 3 rounds. Well, for APL, for the major qualifier lane, we only saw 2 games of Consulate, and it was actually picked once. Right. And it was won by the attack.
So the pulse in play for this second round will be critical. A really, really influential operator on this style of site. Anaton will be able to lurk, whether it be on the first or basement floors, and garner information for his team, especially for that Visa entrance. The lurk basement as well can relay that to the rest of the team, and with triple nitro in play, expect that to be influential and impactful.
I did go to APAC North Stage 2 to add some extra substance to it. 4 times from 5 matches, 50-50 win rate.
Oh, that's actually probably a little bit higher than I probably would have anticipated. As Chibitsu finds the first.
Yeah, and onto Doki as well, so no Deimos. And on honestly, a site like Split, the Deimos is so effective in getting the information and putting pressure on the defense. That's a big loss for G2. Good opening kill. And Chibitsu played really well earlier today against FaZe, and he's a 2-0 start here.
The Solus or the Pulse are probably one of the 2 operators that you really want to pressure with that Deimos to try and take them out of play and limit their ability to gain info.
Well, I mean, speaking of info, you kind of look at the lineup for G2. When you bring the IQ, the Jackal, the Deimos, now you've lost the Deimos. Puts a lot of pressure on to Stomp it on the Jackal to get a lot of that information. Alamau's, of course, been more so focused on the utility.
And the Pulse as well, specifically.
And the Pulse.
Spotted a bomb.
Blaz will shut down Sharif, though. Still out for Alamau, but not able to get shots through the floorboard. At least all tied up now, 4v4. Stomping up service. Hasn't really used that Inox scanner just yet. Not good information, though, for Anaton.
3 live pings at the moment.
Oh, the Nitro is way off, way off, though, from Anaton.
A little bit ambitious. And still needs to be mindful of the Alamau counter.
Interesting as well that he went for the solo play when you've got 2 teammates in DD and Alkali that both have Nitros as well to maybe play off of the Pulse. And that's where I think Anaton now needs to pivot on the Pulse. He no longer has his own Nitro. He needs to facilitate for his teammates. Into the final minute, 4v4, still good opportunities for both teams. Blaz taking the battle towards CO. Chibitsu's pretty much forced back now. Over towards yellow, and waiting was Loira. Really good pinch by G2.
Still double Nitro, though, available here to CAG. They have plant denial utility. Cross allowed.
Yeah, I mean, lurking as Arkali, as you said, allows that cross. Surely would have heard the footsteps. Lawyer is going to walk straight into him, and Arkali gets the free kill.
And he can now go down below with Nitro.
Information here for Alamau, tracking Addison down below on the pulse. Into towers, and does have the kit. So CAG will need to retake. Addison pushes forward. Got aggressive. They do lose DD though, the Blaz. The kit spotted by Anderton, who'll call that out. And into red time can now look to play that. Up service. Stompin losing his life. They've got the cross, they got the numbers, they had the kit as well. They had it all for CAG, and they've got a 2-0 start against G2.
And I think Anderton quite pleased with that play. The flush out from the frag grenade. The expectation that he would then go back down below.
Yeah, rather than pushing.
Alamau could continue to counter on the IQ, but instead pushes forward, applies that pressure, wins the fight. Diffuser was down. Those then down below having to recollect into that cross.
I'm impressed.
CAG looking...
Oh, I'm impressed.
They looked good against FaZe as well again.
They did.
But we saw FaZe find that extra gear. Now G2, as this match progresses and develops, do they have that depth about them in this match?
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. I really want to see this replay, though, of Alamau, because I'm pretty certain he threw that frag and then he started to maybe think about pushing forward to the clear. We do get it from the perspective of Anderton, but yeah, I think that was the intention for Alamau, though, was to follow that up, and in the end, it was Anderton that got aggressive and pays dividends for CAG. 2-0 start, but it will always be in the back of the minds of the CAG fans that, yeah, they've started well, and even if they get to a 5v3 lead,
10 seconds remaining.
they still have a chance. They still don't win the game. I don't think any CAG fan will ever feel comfortable until the match is over and CAG have actually won.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
It is only 2 rounds in, though, and a little bit of a change up here for G2, so they will bring shield. Alamau will go on to the blitz, changing strategy.
And Expo here for the 3rd round as opposed to Basin, which would be a little more typical for the consulate rotation.
Drone is online.
Some pre-established vert here from CAG up above in anticipation from the clear from G2. The range hard breach though, and the blitz could mean they go direct. Elsewhere though, Arkali able to disrupt Blaz. Losing the Dockerby as well will be impactful. Loira also falls.
They are active right now, CAG on the defense, and that's causing issues for G2. So CAG are setting the tone. They're basically saying to G2, we're going to play how we want to play. You're going to have to then respond to that. So that's the really good sign here from CAG. They don't look scared. They're not sitting back. They're not just playing sight. They're playing the map. They're playing aggressive and playing really good siege to begin here on Consulate. G2 are very much good enough to eventually respond. It might just take a couple of rounds.
That's the question. How long does it take? How much of an advantage can CAG garner in this matchup?
Well, they need to make the most of it. I think what cost them against FaZe is CAG started slow. Remember, they were actually 1-3 down. Yep. Then they went on their run. But by that point, FaZe had already at least built up enough of a base point that they then got themselves back into a winning position. Alamau looking to push through CO's side room, and Anderton does get caught. DD, though, with a shotgun into the back. Deals with the blitz and keeps the advantage for CAG. So down to Stompin and Doki. Dynamic duo. Oh, Doki, though, got caught looking through the floorboard, maybe even had eyes on the kid. Sharik then catches him through the doorway. Down to Stompin in the 1v3. Certainly capable for the young star. 2 more to go. Knows there's one in towards Piano. Chibisu has been very strong fragging today. And Sharif actually will now play above and play Kit.
Don't overpeak this. Chibisu force the trade. Sharif has...
Well, he should have the angle on the vert.
Yeah. There we go.
And then Chibisu able to catch out Stomp, and 3-0 start for CAG against G2. Not what we had expected coming into this matchup, but we did preface, and oh so thankfully why we did. So far, this major has been throwing up some real curveballs. Obviously, a long way to go in this match, but it's the perfect, literally the perfect start for CAG. They've won the first 3 rounds, and they've gotten all the opening kills. And a timeout for G2 has been called early.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello. Okay, look guys, you go CO again, can do the BDS, Laura go below, the buck, you fuck the playing inside CO, playing everything, okay? So like you can do BDS for CO, have the mount open,
Like fast?
so like let's abuse this, no, slow. Let's cook them, let's play for the kills, like slow, cook them, play for the kills. Then they go Teles, guys, they go Teles. We can do the direct you spoke about yesterday, okay? I just need to you play the Thatcher, okay? So like you play the Thatcher and Blast play the Maverick. So like we have the Thatcher for the cage and we have the Maverick for the tube, so they can't tube. Okay, so like Cal is gonna block the window and gonna play for the open there, and then we have also Thatcher to open the lower hatch, okay? So like let's like play more direct for both sides, okay guys? And for piano can do the BDS and for basement can do the phase as well.
On the
Let's go, guys. We got
BDS,
3 here.
On the BDS, I still hold the yellow flank.
Well, interesting. Stompin actually was like, play fast, and Romel was like, no, play slow. Because at the end of the day, if you play fast, you're playing into CAG and what they kind of want to do. I understand the thought there for Stompin, and you could probably make arguments for either slower or faster. And well, from CAG's perspective on the replay there of Akali going for the run out, and the way that CAG have been playing, it does make sense to maybe think that way. But I also agree, I think, for me, looking at it, having seen a lot of CAG and a lot of the APAC teams, if you do actually play a little bit slower, there's a tendency for the APAC teams to almost overcompensate and get aggressive and go searching for information, then putting themselves maybe in worse positions, at which point G2 would then be in the best position to punish it.
Yeah, it sounds like a couple of preset plays being discussed as well during that tactical timeout. What that will translate into, we'll see.
Maria, in the interview, was speaking to Romella and basically saying how fast he speaks during these interviews.
No, I felt like I really had to lock in to understand it.
And I'm locking in. I was like, he's speaking English, but it sounded like he was speaking Portuguese, like speed.
Especially, yeah.
Towards the end, he's got to get in like a couple more lines of words. He only got 5 seconds. That's really good time management.
Now, there was a Thatcher call, maybe not for this specific objective. I may have missed that, but Monty in play for this particular round.
Yeah, there was Thatcher.
The Maverick also call, so it must be
a different,
for a different kind of set.
We head back over to CO meeting, which, to be honest, I don't think you probably are going to be playing Maverick and Thatcher.
No.
But what they will not be playing though is the Amaru. So G2 will play building rather than site.
Deploying the drone.
And I think this is where Alamau on the Monty can help facilitate the clear. But it's Anderton that finds the opening kill onto the puck. Big shot with the Boss G from Anderton on the Vigil. Opening kill once again for the 4th round now straight. Goes the way of CAG. Where's the response from G2? They have listened to their coach. They are playing a slower tempo. But it's still CAG and their tempo that is prevailing.
Some ground now over towards Yellow Stairs, and Alamau can posture. Although no follow-up pressure to speak of just yet.
And this is where mentally it can get a little bit tasking. If G2 lose this round playing that slower tempo, it's not that they wouldn't trust their coach. It's just now like, wow, nothing's working.
Yeah.
Nitrocell prepped from Didi. He's the only one that's got a Nitro in this round, so he needs to make sure he gets the most value out of this. I think it's more so just posturing to say to Alamau, you're not going to be able to push in through side room for free. There's a Vulcan canister there as well to delay. And what? No. What? I need to see that from Sharif's angle. Stomper never even saw him. No. Stomper just got put in the bin by Sharif.
Stompin was really patient and disciplined.
Oh my god, they've got nothing to go their way! It's only Alamau that's left. Pistol out. No, that's not going to beat Sharif, baby! It's 4-0 to the Japanese!
Damn. They're looking really good at the moment. G2, slow the pacing, play patient, try to catch them down below on the over-aggress. Lose first pick, Stompin gets slammed. Alamau, no ability to really play off his position top yellow either. This has been such a clean start from CAG.
Not often you see the top teams lose out of a timeout as well.
No.
And that's a big confidence builder for CAG. What? What are you meant to do if you're stomping there? Like, there's nothing you can do.
They're just laughing the whole round as well. Wow. I can hear you in the background.
Jeez, am I coming through? That is an insane shot. That was a headshot? Wow. So where to here for G2? Now, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit here, guys, because I did mention this before. I have unfortunately closed the tab that I had.
So now you have to fill while you're better.
Exactly. But fortunately, I've been doing this a long time, so I'm able to get away with it. And as this is loading right now, you wouldn't know unless I had to set it. Now, Consulate, very, very defender-sided in the EML. Right? So there's an element to that where you can look at it and say, well, for G2, maybe, you know, coming into this map, that they're going to be able to perform better on the defense than, say, on their attack, and you go to their stats. Only 44% attack win rate, naturally, for G2. So they've still got 2 rounds. They win these 2 rounds, and guess what? All that fun for G2 evaporates, and suddenly then G2 get the half they would have been anticipating. So 2 massive rounds coming up.
Mirror in play here for Basement side, first appearance of this objective, but the counterplay on offer here, the shock drones from Doki. And so we'll monitor how impactful they may end up being throughout the course of this round and opening up that defensive hold and weakening it for the late round.
And first time seeing Basement Garage as well.
Yeah. Early drop here from Lawyer.
Yeah, I think maybe pick up the pace.
Oh, he gets caught in the back.
There's no way again the Boss G, Anaton, has gotten another opening kill. That is his 3rd now.
Alamau, no.
Alamau
Okay.
has gotten the kill. Now, Shreep is down as well. Advantage G2, but not for long. Anaton on the Vigil is the ghost in the night haunting G2, but shut down by Blaze. The trades, though, are in favor of CAG. The self-labeled GOAT in Alamau in the 1v3. Otherwise, G2 staring down the barrel of an 0-5 deficit.
A lot of vertical pressure. Alamau trying to find a plant condition. CAG to force that diffuser to go down. They have to at this point.
I think you have to almost think about the stick, but maybe anticipating a response to the audio cue, and Alamau gets off. Admittedly, he's got a minute.
Leaves the diffuser behind. CAG not giving him an inch.
Yeah, I mean, this is where they know full well they can't let people get picked off one by one. You don't want to allow Alamau to create 1v1, so it goes back. Made a bit of noise. Again, he's just overthinking this, though. I mean, I completely understand why. But he has been able to have gotten this kit down multiple times now over the last 20 seconds. Now he will go for the stick. No, he won't. Wants to take the 1v1, so he knows that at least where Chip is his position, but all that time posturing, and in the end, CAG got themselves into a position to converge on his location and punish him. 5-0 CAG against G2.
They're playing an infuriating brand of Siege at the moment.
They're playing an amazing brand.
Infuriating from the perspective of G2.
Well, yeah, I mean, G2 are not having a great time.
If you're getting slammed by Vidya running around on the boss G, you're trying to play lurk plays into sight and getting caught on these timings and it's not being traded, it's gotta suck. Lawyer falls here. Alamau failing to land shots as well, initially onto DD. And here technically a 4v3, but again, the lurk here, the trade from Chibisu. It's all just falling in a line here for CAG at the moment. 5-0 lead. They don't lose it from here, right?
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, they absolutely can lose it from here, CAG, right?
That's the...
Historically, you'd be kidding if you said otherwise. But as of right now, on the basis of what we're watching, I'd be pretty surprised if they did lose it from here.
And we haven't seen that big shift like we did in the phase match, where CAG continued to still play well, but the opposition stepped it up. G2 haven't been able to find that additional gear.
The other thing to note as well, when you look at the rounds 1, so 4 alive, 3 alive, and then the other 2 are 2 alive, but in that one of those was a 3K by Akali, and in all of those, it's now been 5 rounds straight opening kill CAG. So when you kind of look at the actual numbers, and I'm looking at my sheet here, it's just all in favor of CAG. Like, there is no statistic that is, oh, but G2 are kind of doing okay in this area. No, none of that. Like, so they're getting absolutely obliterated. Now, the good news for G2 fans is if they do win this round, it's 5-1, they go defense. Strong defensive team on this map. So there is every world in which, and we know CAG like to throw leads. So it's not over yet. I mean, no game of Siege is ever over. We should know that more than anyone. But right now, CAG at this point in time deserve to win this map. They've got to finish it off. So it's now down to these final round executions. So Alamau will drop down. Top yellow on the Monty.
Repulsion device planted.
A split hole peeled by CAG. Anaton to play over towards meeting now. Oh, big aggress from Sharif. Now caught. Can Anaton supply some support? Well, it's actually from below. Chibisu up through the hatch.
Wow.
And a rough day at the office for Stompin.
How good Chibisu has been today, though. I mean, it goes. Okay, that's what we said before.
That's a CAG moment.
That's a CAG moment. You don't need to do that. But you know what? Chibisu has been so good today. He clearly feels like he's on a heater. He goes for an aggressive play that would have really rubbed salt into the wound of G2. But ready for that run out. Finally, something goes the way of G2. Finally, they get CAG overstepping their boundaries. But it is still only a 4 versus 4. Now, who's going to make the move, though, for G2? Is it the 0-5 Doki, 2-5 Loira? Alabao's been good, but he's playing the Monty. Blaz low on health. So really, it has to be Loira off the back of this logic bomb. Blaz, low on health, went for the swing towards Long Death, loses out to Arcully. Advantage goes the way of CAG, and Doki has not been able to hit too many shots, but this one he will. Landing onto Anaton. Loira, the team inside of the server, finally might just activate at a timely moment for G2. Leaving Arcully in the 1v3, he does get the impact onto Doki. Has 1 minute to really put the dagger into the hearts of G2 by winning a 1v3 final round of the half. Surely not possible.
And there's BPC up as well, relaying really good live info to Arcully.
Red ping intel onto the moving Alamau, but Arcully doesn't have too much means to deal with him. Instead, what he wants to find is Loira. Has gotten a yellow ping on Loira, so he knows he's there. Oh. There's not a chance in hell he's hitting that shot. Through the white flash, Arcully now creates the 1 versus 1 against Alamau. 20 seconds, so the time factor, it's in favor of CAG, although the air jab will help out Alamau. Nothing you can do but laugh. G2 are on the board here on Consulate.
The air jab from the shield, yeah.
That's insane.
Just got launched.
5-1. But the half, the half goes the way of CAG, but G2 now go defense. And they will know full well they've got every opportunity of bringing this game back, but they're going to have to play their best.
That did not look like melee range. Knocked on the back, and with that, G2 able to finally get around on the board. An awkward dance between the two in a 1 versus 1. But as is expected, the shield to win out. CAG, though, still in a dominant position. A 5-1 lead in any circumstance is strong. As the Azami Monty clash and blitz off the board. So triple shield bans for the second half.
So, 5-1. G2 go defense. Every round is just clearly important now for G2, though. But yeah, you think back, Chibisu is probably thinking, oh, should have I gone for that moments, especially when it comes down to a 1v1. Those moments are so crucial.
I can understand why you thought it was an air jab in the moment. Like, that was one.
I thought it was.
That was one of the longer melees I've seen from a shield in a while.
Deploying jammer.
Yeah, I thought maybe Doki had placed one or something like that. But
Camera feed up and running.
either way, a much-needed round for G2. I mean, it goes without saying. Otherwise, they would have been 6-0 down. And I'm going to be honest, when Arcully hit that shot, full white, creating the 1v1. I know the 1v1 against the Monty is always difficult, but to be fair, it wasn't post-plant. Like, there was 20 seconds left in the round. Like, at that point, he can just look to play time. I wonder, in that moment, I mean, you can't really turn sprint run, because then Alamau can just pull the pistol out, but maybe trying to find a way to create separation, because you don't actually have to play into the card break when it's not the post plant.
It's always tricky.
Well, moving forward into the second half, bans, well, double shield ban, make it triple shield ban when you include their clash, and add in the Azami. So how are G2 going to play here on the defense? Knowing full well they can't really put a foot wrong. Like when you're playing Siege, knowing that you can't really make mistakes, otherwise it's 6-1, and that's a long way back. A
lot of teams will find it challenging and then sometimes suffocate under that pressure, and it restricts their gameplay. They become risk averse. I don't really get that vibe too frequently from G2, however. I still expect to see them show resilience here in the second half. try to activate some of their key players a little bit more, really try and get Stomp and Adoki specifically into the game. A little bit more so than perhaps we saw back in the first half. Oh, it's Loira to find the opener though. Clean shot.
That's the first one of the match. First opening kill of the match for G2.
Yeah.
In the 7th round. And onto Sharip, you know, he's been a really good fragger, playing a Daemon, so it's a really valuable opening kill too for G2. Double drop down top yellow for CAG, and it's a caught massively. Nitrocell will finish him off, so no more black bin. So far, a really strong start by G2. Up close swing, but doesn't matter. Doki got busy along with Alamau. They find 3 in about 3. And there you go. 2 rounds straight for G2. Makes it 5-2 to try and avoid 0-2.
As we go to floor 2 for the 8th round. Good work from G2 in the prior round, though, for the cleanup. Certainly one of the more uncompetitive rounds that we had in the match so far, but had a good read on the clear, responded nicely to the Yellow Stairs pivot play. The Nitro Cell was good and the trade game clean. Not really too much more to extract from that round. We'll go over to, again, this second floor, more traditional side of choice. And it's looking like more of an emphasis here on the area than all from defense with the Tachanka smoke combination. We'll see how they look to play around that, offers versatility against both the CEO plant and the meeting side play. The Tachanka players can play deep. Alamau can look to maybe get a little bit more active with the shotgun up close. CAG then will need to make a decisive decision as to which side they go. Is it CEO side, look to bait out the utility, repel in, jump out, etc. Rinse, repeat for a minute, minute and a half to drain that utility. Or do they go to the opposing side, go for the map clear, use the Capital to cut that site, try and make that denial more challenging.
Doki going for a cheeky window peek. Gets a bit of damage onto Sharif. Now, if you had found that kill, you lose the Grim straight away. Not ideal. Big piece of utility. Has secondary EMPs. Quan Hive launcher, of course, the most valuable part. And you get the feeling now. I mean, it's 2 rounds straight for G2. We know the history of CAG. This game's back on.
Yeah. It doesn't take much.
CAG have got to make sure they don't get into their own heads of thinking, again, we're in this position. Lost the 5v3. Well, sorry, from leading 5v3 earlier today against FaZe, they lost at 7-5. Leading 5-0 here against G2. Now it's 5-2, and it starts to get then spooky.
Changing max.
And it's a lot harder as well to change the momentum when you're on the attack, because then you feel like you're constantly having to push through this defensive wall. G2 looking pretty strong so far to begin their defense.
So it's admin side currently from CAG. Some utility over towards Yellow Stairs to facilitate the drop from Anderton. However, that position now known of the Alamine. Tachanka now coming into action. Blaz to stall out this push as Stompin finds the initial kill with Nitro.
It's just a full defensive hold by G2. So, I mean, they've got all of the numbers on site. They're then pushing forward together and finding kills together. There's no space for CAG to push in. Indeed, he's forced all the way back over towards managers here, knowing full well, up close, Stompin with the shotgun, denying his ability to push through that doorway in towards meeting. Akali, who started so hot now, has not been able to get firing. G2 are going to make it 3 rounds straight. Are firmly right back in this best of 1. And cool heads here for DD. The IGL for CAG knows this is a tall order, a tough ask. 1v3 against Stompin, Blaz and Loira, unheard of. But he will give it his best shot. 30 seconds remaining. Knows that Stompin should be close. Expected the swing from Loira. Got the headshot. Was nice, but indeed Stompin's position will prevail. 3 in a row for G2, and the comeback is on.
Yeah, they're commanding the map really nicely at the moment. The second defensive round, a better illustration of that, as you kind of mentioned, through that mid-round, as has become more popular from teams defensively. It's that pushback, that resistance, send a pair to go for a play. It executed nicely, disrupted the push. and then you bolster those anchor positions for trades late, and that's exactly what they were able to execute. So clean work there from G2. And we return actually to split for the 9th round final before the additional bans are introduced.
Yeah, I mean, and for G2, it's pretty simple in terms of what they need to do over the next couple of rounds. Just kind of keep playing their game, knowing full well that CAG are probably going to be into the mindset of, you know, going for broke certain rounds. Like, they know, for CAG, they're 1 round away from at least getting overtime and then putting the pressure right back on G2. But they have to treat each round not as a, you know, Hail Mary kind of round to try and just force it and roll over the finish line. They've got to try and go back to some of their fundamentals. G2 have really stepped up their game on defense, but I mean, this is also just the case now, naturally, when you kind of look at it, 8 rounds played, only 1 attacking round. And to add further to the statistic, there's been 0 attacking opening kills.
Yeah.
So defense has been so strong here on Consulate. It's following the EML meta more so than the APAC meta. And that's going to benefit G2. That's the worry right now for CAG, despite a 5-0 start. So far, the way that this is now playing out is going to be in favor of G2. CAG need to change that.
Probe lost the target.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, mistakes starting to creep in a little bit here for CAG, and G2 are always going to capitalize. LML losing the battle against Anaton. Kali shots down Doki. So despite the mishap with Sharip, it is the player advantage for CAG.
Yeah, it did put the Blackbeard on a bit of a pedestal there and enabled that trade. And the double down elsewhere makes things intriguing. Lawyer was able to retake and reclaim some control now, though, up in that 2nd floor position. That could come into play later.
Well, one of the hindrance here for playing split on defense, where you're now numbers disadvantage, having to play multi-level, you're so spread thin.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, this is a round that CAG need to capitalize upon. Even if Didi is very low on health, he's still got those Boogie Auto breaches.
They have to exploit this advantage.
Reloading.
Who's going to make the move for G2? It's Lawyer down the hallway, caught though by Arkali. Down to Stompin and Blaz to deny this match point opportunity for CAG, of which they would have therefore 3. Do they look to maybe play together? Stompin will lurk Spiral. Now Chipitsu is actually top Spiral and does still have a Logic Bomb available on that Dokkaebi. CAG have actually slowed it down, Guz.
50 seconds. And a lot of pressure in towards this front door / lobby position.
Okay, it's on. Big kill from Stompin onto Arkali. Shuts down the Danger Man. He's been the top fragger for CAG. Diddy very low. And another one from Blaz onto Anaton. 2 for 1. What a deal. A bargain there. Down to Chipitsu. Stompin and Blaz flip the script. On the verge of giving match points over to CAG. It's G2 that respond. That's huge. It's now 5-4. It's now 4 rounds straight to G2.
That's a really clean catch from Blaz. The call there being from CAG. Let's use the Boogie Auto breach shot. Let's go for the pivot visa drop. But Blaz able to catch them both.
I would
really clean work.
I would be calling a timeout, but you do get to speak during
very briefly.
Very briefly during the second ban phase, which by the way is Mute and Ying. I wonder for CAG if they hold, save it going then into the 11th. If it ends up 5-5, that would be the better time to call it. And indeed, it looks like that will be at least the case potentially. And at this moment here, 4v2. Got to look to capitalize on a spread defense playing split, but what credit has to go the way of Blaz and Stompin to revive that round for G2. And that's the round that gets them amped up. Not just because they won it, Guz, but winning it in the 2v4, a 5-3 scoreboard deficit, now 5-4, yeah, that would get anyone amped up.
Yeah, the belief is very much now back in the G2 camp. And this match, in contrast to the CAG phase matchup, it does feel like it's trending a little bit more towards CAG dropping the ball.
Well, look, I mean, if I'm going to be honest with CAG, if they lose this game, they're not doing themselves any favors in terms of the CAGing it.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Mantra that gets thrown around about them at these international events. You're 5-3 up against FaZe, you're 5-0 up against G2. You're going to lose both. It's not a good look. You can take the positives all you like, but at the end of the day, it's the wins that matter. They lose this, they're 0-2. And while you can look to really good performances in those two losses, it doesn't net you anything. Got to capitalize and got to convert. But right now, it's all G2, and it's been all defense on Consulate. They're now in the driver's seat. And still no opening kill for CAG on their attacking half. It's concerning. The pendulum has swung the way of the EML team.
So the mute ban from round 10, but the Deimos not brought into the fray. The IQ, though, available, and Sheree playing that into the Falc. And so can garner a large portion of information and deal with that established by G2, running the double nitro in this round and perhaps looking for something off that information. And this map clear initially from CAG. Denari also in play here from G2, so trap utility likely to be prevalent.
Swapping mags.
At the moment, CAG committing to the admin side. Clear, no signs of pressure elsewhere around the map.
Setting up a sequential breach.
They keep forcing this Blackbeard, but it's not really finding a lot of success. And biding their time now here for Cyclops, you know, into the 10th round, minute 20 left. You can clearly tell the way they're posturing around the map. They're desperate to find an opening kill, opening advantage, to make their life easier for that eventual push towards site. But G2 is giving them nothing. I mean, look, the positioning of G2 in this round has been really, really good. They're giving CAG nothing. There's only a minute left. No real contact. Anatim went for the aggressive play. And Alamau will punish that massively. Again, the Blackbeard, little to no impact. But Akali does shut down Loira elsewhere, making it a 4v4.
Miss drone.
A miss drone onto Stompin will be oh so massively punished. Swings out. Oh, no one meets him, though, at the right moment. And now Stompin's position. Oh, my goodness! What? Holy! Shot from Stompin, but he got traded. So diminishes it ever so slightly as this round is still alive. Akali will go for a double. Now 12-6. Advantage for CAG. Will this be the round in which they can convert? Down to Alamau and Blaz. Blaz, though, has been in this position before. Only just the round prior. DD must win this fight. Blaz has gotten another kill. 1v1. 5 seconds remaining. Chipitsu, you've got to make the push. Blaz is going to make the run. Blaz will miss the shot, but it does not matter. The time will prevail. G2 win another nail-biting round.
Let's go, guys.
Are you kidding me? Even G2 is smiling at that.
Yeah, some right smiles from G2. 5-5, the scoreline.
I really want to see the 1v1 there from Chibisu's angle as well. Surely timeout. You cannot be kidding me. No timeout and a 5-5 after losing 5 rounds straight. What a shot by Stompin, by the way. But then he lost his life. Blaz has been so clutch in this game. I mean, there was a considering the initial shots didn't land, Chibisu did have a chance to win that.
They both missed. Small window in that round.
I mean, very small window. I should add to that, but the window was there.
Window before there as well, where DD commits to the fight. There was that 2v1 scenario, and instead of forcing plant, DD went searching for that kill lobby, died, and left it in the 1 versus 1 to begin with.
I'm so glad. This is why, you know, when CAG are 5-0 up, we're sitting there basically saying, yeah, CAG can still lose this, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Attackers are moving
It's
out
not
to
that
locate a
absurd.
bomb
it's not
and
that
defuse it.
absurd. But yet, when it still happens, despite saying that and still believing that we know CAG, a team historically known for cagging it at these international events, it's still surreal when it keeps happening. Because at some point you think it's going to be like, no, surely this is the time. This is the time. Not to be. G2 have been so outstanding on their defense. They've, again, gotten all the opening kills. They've controlled all of the rounds. And in the rounds late, where maybe they haven't been in control, you look into players like Blaz. Blaz, 3K in the 9th round, 1v2 in the 10th round situation. Of course, time helping him in the end. Just so clutch in the 2 rounds that maybe CAG could have got the job done. So they're either winning the early rounds or they're winning the late rounds. CAG, to their credit, have been pretty decent in the mid round. 5-5, 11th round, who gets match point? Right now, everything pointing to G2 though. And this is when the doubt creeps in for CAG.
Yeah. Rotero is in play for the 11th round of Sharif. Eagerly looking to clear some of that utility deployed by the defense. Castle Barricades probably top of the list. And a BPC as well from Stompin. Ranged hard breach will aid in the clear from Arkali for this admin across take. Not tempting fate console side. DD garnering good information. You can see him relaying that to the team and looking to deploy Capital utility almost immediately here. Wanting to capitalize and not allow G2 to go for that mid-round aggress that we have seen a couple of times.
Ah, I saw what you did there. Capitalize.
Well, not intentional.
Just over a minute remaining. Yeah, the pacing in this second half has actually been quite a contrast to the first. Blaz lucky to be alive on the Tachanka. Holding close by meeting. DD unlucky to not find that opening kill, of which would be the first for CAG. In this entire match, 11 rounds in, still no attacking.
Lure in the tuck position, mind you. I don't know if this has been accounted for.
Oh, Anaton, and there it is.
There we go.
The first attacking opening kill of Consulate in this match. And it means nothing right now because G2 then got the next 2. All tied up. 3v3 into the final 30 seconds. Couldn't be closer.
They have the route now towards default. Alamau with no gas babes remaining.
Nitrocell, though, for Doki is still available over towards Secretary. He's got it in hand, he throws it out, but it doesn't connect. And up close, a shotgun. Sharif, though, gets the double, and DD will get the plant down to stop. There's no chance in hell! This kid is magical! Stompin' stomps on the heart of CAG! They thought they had the round and the match point. Even the G2 teammates cannot believe what this wonder kid just did.
No, you're the best, man.
I've never seen anything like this in my
Are you kidding me? Another day in the office for Stompin'. Match point G2, 6 rounds straight and on the verge of sending CAG to the O2 bracket. 3 versus 1. What the hell was this? What?
Someone check him, PC.
Bro, I'm absolutely gobsmacked.
Alamau's reaction is the best.
Yeah, do we want to just call it now and give them the win?
Ring the bell.
The funny thing is, I mean, so Stompin's only, I say only 9-8, right? Because we know how magical he is and the influence he can have on games. He started quite slow in the first half. I mean, most of G2 did, admittedly. 6 rounds straight for G2. They are looking for a reverse flawless, basically, if they win this 12th round. If you thought CAG losing a 5-3 lead against FaZe was bad, well, try the 5-0 against G2. And the funny thing is, not so funny for CAG, but I would say the last 3 rounds, so 9th round was the Blaz 3K. CAG probably could have and maybe should have won that round. Then you had the timeout in the 10th round where time ran out and Blaz was in a 1v2. Then the 3v1 stomp and mega play. So 3 rounds straight for CAG that they arguably could have, should have won and didn't because of G2 heroics.
It doesn't get much more CAG than this.
Oh my, they've cagged it.
Well, not yet. There's still a chance for O2. Final round of regulation. Can CAG lock in? Stomping over towards Visa. Looking to make his mark once more here. Shotgun in hand. And CAG timid. Trying to posture. Flash doesn't land. And Stompin looking ready to go.
Blaz with the opening pick onto Akali. There's the top fragger down for CAG, but in return, Stompin will fall. Anaton as well. A flurry of kills. Advantage for G2. Well, that's it, surely. Chipitsu goes down. Leaves it down to the IGL and Sharip to clutch the 2v4. And at this point, whether they feel it consciously or subconsciously, the flame has flickered out surely for CAG, surely. G2, stalwart in this defensive half. Flawless, 7-0 straight to close this one out. A statement from the EML team that they will not go quietly into that O2 bracket. From 5-0 down, G2 have sent CAG to O2.
Straight thievery from G2. What a way to reverse that. You look at the timeline for that matchup. Genuinely mind blown at the way in which they've been able to flip that result. 7 rounds in a row.
What's the meme? Call an ambulance, but not for me. Well, that is an absolute impeccable game from G2. A way for them to maybe get a spark here at the Munich Major. They go a 1-1 record, down 5-0. Things aren't looking great. Couldn't get anything really to work on their attack until the final round of the first half, and then just flawless through the second half. And not just a case of flawless because defender sided Consulate. They won at least 3 of those rounds through some clutch heroics in rounds that they were shaping up to potentially lose. So they had to, in some of those rounds, do it the hard way.
Oh, they had to really, really grind out that second half. G2, so many different members stepping up in so many different rounds, really highlighting the versatility and the hero-making play potential from this roster. I'm still in a sense of disbelief.
The Stomp in 1v3, I'm still in disbelief as well. I mean, I don't understand how this kid can be so good at this game. But for G2, I mean, as I said, 7 rounds straight, right? Staring down the barrel of 5-0. And they were getting pretty much beaten up, right? Like, they were getting destroyed by CAG. I think I mentioned it at 5-0. Like, all the statistics, all the opening kills, all the margins, the multi-kills, everything was in the CAG camp. And then G2 kind of win the last round. Okay, 5-1.
Keep it winnable.
But you're not expecting 7 straight. And for CAG, this is why we said earlier on, it's unfortunate that we had to even say it, but this is what Kagan does to a team. 0-2 for CAG, and Maria, of course, has got the young GOAT.
Hello, I'm here with Stompin, and I don't want to say much. What happened? What did come back for G2?
I don't even know what to say, to be honest. It was a really hard game, really good team. I'm just glad we came back and got it done, because being down 0-2, elimination game is not fun, so yeah.
And what kind of information did you have in round 10 to do those skills? One through the smoke and one through the wall.
To be honest, there was no info. I kind of just heard them. I heard them through the wall, and I just wall banged them, yeah.
Just hearing, a good hearing.
Exactly.
You're very different. But okay, let's talk about the best of one, because you have lost the first game of today and now just won. So that shows us that best of one can be a little bit tricky, right?
Yeah, best of ones are really hard. I can't wait to be on best of 3. Hopefully tomorrow we win, and then best of 3 to qualify for playoffs. That's all I can hope.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we almost finished for today, but before that, thank you. Let's go to the break.